Welcome to Big Blend Radio, where we celebrate variety and how it adds spice to quality of life. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be talking about small business and the connections between small business, tourism, hospitality, and travel. So we're looking at the business side and the traveler side, and we've got three awesome guests. We've got San Diego employment attorney Ward Heinrichs, who's on our show every fourth Wednesday. Keep up with him at bestemploymentattorneysandiego.com. I just have to say that because we love saying that. Ward, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and we're getting some great weather finally in San Diego. It's been a little chilly and rainy, but wow, it's great.
He wants to make everyone jealous if they're not,
Yeah.
that's a thing. So Ward is in San Diego, California. Now we're going to travel up the coast and then we're going to go inland into Central California to Tulare County. And Dawnette Silva Carter's on the show all the time representing Tulare, the city of Tulare. She is the CEO of Tulare Chamber of Commerce and also a director of Sequoia Tourism Council. So we do our show with them every fourth Thursday. So keep up with them at discoverthesequoias.com and also tularichamber.org. So welcome back, Dawnette.
It's great to be back, Lisa. It's just a beautiful day here in Tulare as well. We're a little more like 79 degrees, little bit of a breeze, and it's just fabulous out there. You can see all of the mountains, and so it's a very lovely day.
And a lot of people are getting ready to head into your region for Sequoia National Park, Kings Canyon. That season is here.
Absolutely. Yep. We already have people inquiring, and of course, our hotels are getting the reservations set up, and the park and parks getting ready, and the forest as well. So lots to see and do, and nothing more amazing than standing next to one of those largest trees in the world.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Now we're going to hop over the pond, if you want to say that, and over to Glenn Burrows. Glenn is on our fourth Saturday show every month, and Glenn is our English connection. Glenn Burrows is the owner of Norfolk Tours. He's also a director of Buy Local Norfolk in England. So you can go to norfolk-tours.co.uk and also buylocalnorfolk.org.uk. All the links I'm mentioning are in the show notes, so easy to access. So welcome back, Glenn. How are you doing?
Wow, very good today. Thanks. Yeah, lovely, lovely blue sky out here in Norfolk. So we're doing all right. It's no rain today, which is good.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I know you. I hear that you're getting more sunshine in England these days.
We are.
Um, that's good. And you're growing wine. See, I'm representing the wine
We
of
are.
Arizona, the wine country. So I got to give a shout out to our friend LDV Winery because she was just on a show. So I've got the same background. I thought represent Arizona, where we're based out of. But I want to go over how each of you work with small businesses in regards to travel and tourism. So, Donna, let's start with you in regards to chambers of commerce running, also, the Sequoia Tourism Council, all of that, because I know you have been in that world for like a gazillion years, but you're too young to be a gazillion,
Thank
right?
you. I have a birthday in a couple days, so thank you. I like hearing
Hey,
that
you see,
today.
I know. I was thinking that the other day. You and Nancy are on like right around each other there.
Mhm.
Um, I know you work with like the Western Association of Chambers of Commerce as well.
Yeah, Western Association of Chamber Executives. So I am a member of that organization and serve on the board of directors as well. And chambers traditionally are the community promoters. We also work with our visitor bureaus and in whatever form that may be. We don't have one for the city of Tulare. So we do all of the community promotion when it comes to visitors and, visitor traffic coming in, people looking for information on the community and what the amenities are. And then we are a part of the collaborative for Sequoia Tourism Council, and all of our municipalities invest in this council, and the council itself goes out and shares information about the region, produces our visitor guide, and we just did a quarterly cool concierge college, which was to train people who are at the front desks and people who are in our restaurants. We really wanted to let them know that when someone comes in to that business, if you can amplify what the information is that's out there for tourism travel, tell them about your places you like to go in your community or in your region, or just make recommendations of places they could go. So we did a whole program on letting them know what's available in Tulare County, the Sequoia region. So it was a great, a lot of fun when we did it, and had people from various different areas of hospitality, also storefronts too. So that's part of what we do. We want to make sure that when it comes to tourism, that people have the best guest experience they can. And of course, Sequoias is the most recognizable name or word about our region here. And so most people are coming here to go to Sequoia National Forest and the giant Sequoia National Monument, and or also Sequoia National Park and Kings Canyon National Parks. So we know they're coming in for this area. How do we extend their stays? How do we give people the opportunity to really have another good time visiting the local communities where we have the arts, farmers markets, events galore, quaint downtowns, other outdoor art and murals, things like that. So that's really what our role is providing the promotion and inviting people in and inviting people to extend their stay, and just saying, hey, these are the other things that you get to do when you come in to enjoy our community.
That's awesome. And also, I love that you're doing the education side for the businesses as well. Going on the education side, I want to go over to Ward. He's an employment attorney in San Diego, and he's on the show all the time going heads up employers, heads up employees, as well as these new changes. California is always changing, even San Diego itself. So tell us a little bit about some of the small businesses you work with in the travel tourism arena, because San Diego is one of the top destinations in the country. Oh, I'm just saying that. I used to live there. I love it. I'm just saying it
Thanks
is.
for the plug.
Yeah, but you are.
Yeah. Well, I represent all sorts of different types of businesses. And, for instance, one of them is residential manager for apartments. And there's another one that does commercial property and prepares it and manages it for people. So I do all sorts of different things, but I do have some restaurants. So I think they're part of the tourism industry. And I love these restaurants. Rocky Ramen, best ramen, and I think in the county. They make their noodles right there. And then Aladdin Cafe, which has been there for over 40 years. He's a great businessman, has kept that place going and running and profitable, and a great Mediterranean food. So those are the two places that I would say are mostly tourism, and people should really check it out when they get here.
Yeah, that's the thing too, because it's really also going about the individual style of businesses. So when you talk about small businesses, to go find these places that are something you're not going to experience in another area. And I know, Ward, you travel a lot too.
Yes, I've got my Alaska fishing trip already booked, going in the beginning of August. Bought my RV trailer. I'm going to pick it up on Saturday, hook it up to my new truck. So I'm getting,
Donette, you've got some RV parks, don't you?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We can put you right in the area.
I am going to go there. I'm not sure if I can do it. I'm booked with travel, honestly, but in the next year or so, I will. And I want to do it off season, not on season, off season.
But that's a good point, because businesses want the business not just at the peak of the season, and for travelers it is not as much fun. So that's a really, really good point, bringing that up. I want to go over to Glenn in England, because Glenn, I know you've been on countless shows with us talking about support the smaller businesses, but you as a tour guide, and you do a lot of family history research, and he gets to research Nancy and I's history soon. It's going to be crazy.
I look forward to it.
We have witches in our history that were burnt at the stake, so you be prepared. But Glenn, you work with a lot of small businesses, and so isn't that kind of, you're a small business yourself, but having people come over, you're actually taking them to these smaller establishments. So you're this conduit, just like what Donette does with the chambers.
Yeah, exactly what Donette was saying. People do not come to England to go and stay in what I call a spit and cardboard hotel. You do not want to go into a hotel with cardboard walls. You want to go into a hotel that is built properly. You want to go into a farmhouse. You want to go into a cottage. You want to go into a hotel that's run by a local family. You want to experience the real life. If you go out for a meal, you want to go to a local pub that cooks local food, and serves local beer or local wine, because we are making our own wine in England now. You want to sample what's going on in the area that you're visiting. What is the good of going to France and eating steak and chips? You want to go to France and eat French food. You want to come to England and eat English food. You want to go to Mexico and eat Mexican food.
Yes, I do.
Yes, exactly. It's all about sampling where you are, and it's not just food and drink. It's actually mixing with local people. You want to go to a what I call a Mrs. Miggins coffee shop, just where Mrs. Miggins bakes her own cakes and serves her, freshly brewed tea and coffee. All right, so coffee's not grown in England, and neither is tea. But it's all about supporting Mrs. Miggins with her coffee shop, because she buys things in from the local people. She buys her fruit and vegetables for her bowls of soup. She buys that from the local market, and it all supports the local economy, rather than going to these massive hotels that buy in all of this mass-produced rubbish and serve it up to people. Sorry, I'm not at all opinionated,
Well,
but
when I want to,
let me just tell you about my hatred of plastic sausages. You go to an expensive hotel and they serve you with the most disgusting breakfast you could ever taste. But you go to a farmhouse hotel and they serve you with proper butcher's sausages and real local bacon, proper eggs and freshly baked bread. Yeah.
Oh man, stop it, dude. Like, you're making me hungry.
I'm
I could have
starving.
breakfast.
I know. Gosh.
I-
And hey, Glenn, I have to mention something that I just saw at a restaurant. It's actually as a drive-through here in our community. And the sign was awesome. It said, "We hire cooks. We don't have microwaves." So it's all
Oh,
I was like, that's exactly it. It's fresh. And, that's what you want to see. And then when you look at the local restaurants, you want to see that farm to table and have that really unique, authentic experience of what is grown. We're very fortunate because we are also number one in ag production here in Tulare County in the last well, forever and ever. It's us and our neighbors are 1, 2, and 3 every year. So we were just number one. And that's what's really nice. I think one of the reasons that when people get here, they can have all these other unique experiences that they look for is because it's all grown here. It's in our backyard. We can access it, any given day, and not our visitors can't always access it as much. So they come here and they're, going to the restaurants that are featuring local products. They're going and visiting our various different fruit stands, that type of thing. So, cool. But anyway, I love what you're saying there, Glenn. Agree 100%.
I know. And Ward, you kicked us off on the food, and we always get into this, but I want to go back on this too, because we're talking about, doing local, buying fresh, having unique and authentic experiences for the traveler, right? Which means that's where a small business comes in, and a small business ends up having to buy things. It's more of a boutique stay in a hotel. It's more of these. If you go shopping, you're not going to find it typically on, the big other online stores that everyone uses. I mentioned shopping just for Donette. We cannot do a small business show without shopping. But the thing is, we start bulking at what's going on in prices, and your side, Ward, is dealing with what all these employers are dealing with in regards to minimum wage hikes. There's the fast track thing, the fast food thingy. What is it? I wanted to call. Why is it fast track? Yeah, I know, I call it fast track. I just had to pay a toll fine. But anyway, I needed to call Ward. I need a lawyer. They're racking up. But when you look at what you see on the the employment law side, the costs are going up, and I'm not here to debate whether they're good or bad. It's just people should be aware that these employers are putting their their bank account on the line, really, to be open to provide these experiences, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The cost has gone up. Part of it's minimum wage, part of it's cost of goods. And if you go to local restaurants, and I'm sure up in Tulare, the same thing, uh, going out to a restaurant is way more expensive than it was just 3 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very different. And so I think, I'm okay with that. I make enough money that I'm okay with that. But I know there are people who are pretty squeezed with it. And so you gotta, are the policies the most effective? I don't know. There are winners and losers, no doubt about it. Um, Fast food, though, here's one thing I think about the Fast Food Act. All right, so they said the minimum wage for fast food, they finally decided what it's going to be, is $20 an hour. And that's $4 an hour more than the other state minimum wages for anything else. So as a result, we've seen lots of different things happen. One of them is going to automation. Burger King and McDonald's just said, hey, we're going to start automating way more rapidly than we planned to. So you're seeing that kind of thing. And then you also are seeing, like I said before, higher costs. And, just to get the old burger. So I don't even, me, it doesn't even make sense to go to McDonald's. And then not that I did anyway, but wow. And then so maybe table to farm is a much better way to go, and maybe more people will go to that. And I think that was part of the why the legislation was passed, was to say, hey, fast food is really not even that good for you, so we'll make it harder for them to sell their products. And no one's ever said that, but I've kind of suspected it.
That's interesting. That's
Interesting point.
interesting. Yeah, it is a good point. I mean, that's the thing. I always just want people to understand when they go to a store, things may be a little bit more, but you're investing in. And so the other part, and I wanted to go with you on this, Donette, and I know Glenn is probably the same in for you, as in the small business sector, in tourism, the tourism dollar starts when you actually leave home. Okay, so let's just take Ward as an example. He bought a truck and an RV, right? And that's around your area, right? He bought this, right? And that money goes directly back into his economy. He's buying a car. Now, whoever had the business of the car and all that, that money goes into their families. It goes into the schooling. It goes into all of that. It may help with it. So now if you're a hotel and you hire an AC guy, well, the AC guy may be a small business, and guess what? That helps their kids have food on the table. So don't you think, Donette, when we look at tourism, we actually have to realize the value of that dollar
Oh,
or pound? We got Glenn on the show, pounds too.
yeah, absolutely. Our market analysts tell us too that, every dollar spent in a community circulates 5 times over within that community, because you're looking at, so we'll go back to using Ward. So Ward comes into our town. He is supporting jobs by putting gas in his truck, to haul his RV. He is supporting jobs when he goes and, has his reservations, there.
Mm-hmm.
And when he goes to the grocery store and picks up the food that he's going to cook in his own, RV. So wherever it is that you're shopping, you're creating that circular impact that's going to happen on that local economy. And that's something that a lot of local economies absolutely depend upon, is that people are going to spend their money in whichever direction, because then you've got the person who works at the grocery store, they're going out and they're getting, clothing that they need for their family, or they're doing entertainment and they're paying for that. And then the people working in the entertainment venue, they're paying their bills. So it completely is that circular impact of revenue coming into a community. We love tourism dollars. Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why we, group together and coordinate a very comprehensive plan of promotion, for our region, because we want to bring those people in. We want them to come and visit it, our restaurants, our hotels, our museums, our various entertainment venues, and go into the parks too.
Right.
So great experiences creates that revenue within those communities. Very important for tourism.
Now, Glenn, in England, like with Buy Local Norfolk, is it also a big deal for you to all work together, just like what Donette is saying, to make sure that promote these local places and band together?
Well, with Buy Local Norfolk, we're unique in the fact that we guarantee that all of our members use other local independent businesses within their business. So every member has to supply us with 5 of their suppliers that are local independent businesses before they can become a member. And also we are really strict in that we don't allow people in like a franchisee. So a franchisee can't be a member at the moment. No national companies are allowed to be in Buy Local Norfolk because it's all about local independence. Because like Donette has just been saying, if you come and spend £1 in a local business, that then goes round the local economy 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So that then builds up the local economy. If you spend £1 in a national company, then that goes straight out of the local economy. So it's gone. You know, the only part of £1 that stays around is the wages for the local people, which is normally just the basic minimum wage. So much difference makes if you use a local independent business wherever you are. So if Ward comes to Donette's town and goes shopping in all of the national stores, he's not helping the local economy very much. If he uses the local,
Ward.
If he uses Mrs. Miggins' coffee shop and the local corner store and the Ma and Pa grocery store, he is then making a massive difference to the local economy by spending his money with a local independent. And that is the main difference. That's what keeps local people local and different. Because if you want national chains everywhere, we're all going to be the same. So we had an old saying in Buy Local was that is spending money with nationals and internationals costing you more than money? Because it's costing you your own local life. You know, we're all becoming the same. Every high street is the same if we all spend our money in nationals and international companies. If you want it to be different, you have to spend it with independents.
And it keeps the integrity of a community. It keeps the feel like Ward. All your breweries in San Diego are, you know, unique. I mean, you become a brewery city. I mean, it's incredible what has happened, but it's part of the identity. And if you go to the beach, you want to have, you know, an ice cream cone that's from someone local. You know, that's really cool. But in closing, I want to touch on a piece of advice from each of you, whether it's for a traveler or for the business owner. So Ward, before you hitch your RV to your truck and go to Tulare, which you now have to go, you got totally suckered in today. That's it.
Well, I'm happy to be suckered into that. That's
we will look forward to having you visit, Ward.
Well, thank you. I'll look you up and I'll buy a beer. Oh, I'll bring a beer from San Diego since we're the brewery capital of the world. Actually, they've said that.
Great.
Brewery capital of the world.
Oh, wow. Asheville, North Carolina is Beer City, USA. They're going to, we need to have a beer off. Okay, we'll do it.
Beer off.
It's cool. But any piece of advice, because especially I think on employers to really know because there's so many laws going on. And I would say number one, listen to Ward on Big Blend Radio every fourth Wednesday because you keep up with them really well.
I constantly tell people who call me, businesses who call me and say, hey, look, I know it's tough to do business in California, but one thing you can do that will reduce the risk of running out of money or running afoul of the law and then running out of money is keep up on the laws. And if you can't, you know, attorneys aren't cheap. I know that. But there are cheap ways to handle things. I've got HR consultants that can help with a lot of that stuff, and I refer them out all the time. So having someone like that in your corner to help you get things set correctly often makes the biggest difference in the world, because then you don't have to worry so much about running afoul of the law and all of a sudden paying a lot of money for something that you didn't see coming.
Good point. Good point. So everyone, bestemploymentattorneysandiego.com is how you can reach Ward. We did it. Glenn, any advice?
Well, really echoing what Ward has just said is to build your network, because you need to have as many local people on your side so you can ask locally what's going on locally. But if you're a tourist, go to Mrs. Miggins' coffee shop, because Mrs. Miggins will know what's going on locally, and she'll be able to tell you where to go, what to do, who to see, who to ask, and Mrs. Miggins knows best.
Is there really a
That's
Mrs.
great.
Miggins, and is she related
No, I
to
just make
Higgins?
her up. I mean, Ma and Pa, Mrs.
Okay,
Miggins.
yeah, I know. I just want to know if she's related to Higgins in Hawaii. What was that Tom Selleck thing? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You're dating
Yeah.
me. I'm dating myself. That's terrible. But anyway, Dawnette, any piece of advice?
For travelers, what I'd like to say is, plan part of your trip and then don't plan part of your trip, because I think, sometimes some people are real big planners, and I'm one of them, but I don't want to create my own anxiety of not doing that. So looking around, but also plan to just experience the community. That's one of the things. My husband and I, we recently went to, it was to Maui before all the fires and stuff. And we didn't do a lot of pre-planning. We had a few things we wanted to do, but we just wanted to go and experience it. We liked hanging out with local people and just experiencing the beauty of the community. And every kind of community, it doesn't have to be Hawaii, doesn't have to have an ocean. We have the sequoias, but there's always something that you're going to find in every community that creates the uniqueness of that community.
Mhm.
Those are the things I enjoy, exploring when I go into a community.
Shopping,
Yeah,
events.
shopping. Yes, I'm a shopper across the board. Wherever I can shop, it works out well for me. But yeah, I think go in and just look for the unique experiences that you can have and learn about the people. I always like doing that as well. So that's my advice is, relax and enjoy and look for those unique experiences. And then I'll give you one of our unique ones here. When you're coming to visit us, we have Rosa Brothers Milk Company, and they produce their own milk products and all kinds of flavored milks. They produce ice cream.
Oh,
It
the
is
ice cream
a place
is to
to
die
go.
for.
It is. It's amazing. And when you come here, one of the other things I like about their store is they carry other locally made products, from beef jerky to chocolates. They have nuts, butters, all kinds of things that are made in the local region. You can get fresh eggs there too. So, which you can cook inside your RV ward. So anyway, right? So they have all of this uniqueness, and it's all in one spot. And I love that. So come to Rosa Brothers Milk Company when you come and visit Tulare.
Awesome. I love this. Thank you all for joining us. Everyone, for Glenn, go to norfolk-tours.co.uk. And for Tulare, if you're in Tulare County and surrounding, you better join the chamber. Otherwise, Dawnette's coming after you. So go to tularechamber.org. I got to give a plug for that. And one thing that Dawnette always says on shows is go to those small community events that you don't think, oh, it's a community thing. Go to them, because they're often small fundraisers and the most fun. Like I know you go to the Oktoberfest in La Mesa, right, Ward? So, that's a fundraiser and it's
El
fun.
Cajon. El
Oh,
Cajon is the
sorry.
best one west of the Mississippi. It's amazing. They bring
See,
in bands from Germany.
Oh,
See?
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
there's a big German community out there. So
Yeah.
makes sense too.
German
Well,
American Society. Yeah.
See, it is fundraisers. Go to the events that are fundraisers for nonprofits too. So it's a good way. So thank you all for joining us, and off we go. Have fun.
Thank you.
Lovely. Cheers.
Lots of
Bye.
fun.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com.